Good morning, Wall Street winners. It is Monday, October 14th, and it's about an hour and 40 minutes from the open this morning. It's Canadian Thanksgiving, so if you're Canadian, happy Thanksgiving. If we take a look at the markets, which are open today in the U.S., in the Bloomberg app, and specifically the futures, you can see that the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ are in the green. The NASDAQ's up 61 points, so 0.3%. That's pretty decent in the pre-market. And the Dow Jones is down 0.15%. So they're at reasonable levels. There's really a lot of interest this week coming off of bank earnings. So specifically, if we take a look over at the Yahoo Finance app, and we scroll down right to the bottom where we have our financial apps or financial companies that we follow in the app. The big announcements this week: Citigroup is coming out tomorrow with earnings, so we'll be watching Citigroup. Wells Fargo is coming out tomorrow. I believe, Bank of America is coming out tomorrow. Misspoke there. And Goldman is the big one coming out tomorrow. So a lot of activity pre-earnings after JP Morgan had really positive earnings, revenue, and future forecasts on Friday coming out around the banks. We can see that one of our favorites that we were championing earlier this year, SoFi, when it was down in the $6 range, saying this stock by October or the end of the year would get to $9. It is already at $9, up 38 cents on Friday. That's a huge move for a $9 stock in a single day. Looks like it's up in the pre-market as well. Affirm earnings is coming out as well, but not until the early part of November. Affirm, this is another interesting company because it's one of those organizations where at the end of an e-commerce purchase, you're offered the ability to make monthly payments for your purchase it over, say, 4 payments over 4 months. And that's something that Affirm manages and integrates into different e-commerce platforms. We've got Raymond James up almost at 130. So this is extremely high for RJF. They announce in 9 days. We've got Jefferies. Jefferies is a late one to announce, so they're not going to announce until until January now. So they're a ways off. That can't be right if they're announcing in January. That seems like it's a misprint there. I think they'll announce before that. But JP Morgan announced Friday, very strong results. It was up Friday, closed at the 222 range. Looks like it's up slightly today, but probably will continue to make a move upwards. I do expect it will correct a little bit and come back down to the teens, the 217 range, but then it should rebound and go back up, assuming that the other investment banking large bank stocks come out with similar positive earnings. I think those will lift everything. You can see Morgan Stanley up at 110, Goldman up almost, over $12.50 on Friday, up $1 in the pre-market, expecting good news out of Goldman tomorrow, and then Morgan Stanley on Wednesday. And then Charles Schwab, it's going to announce tomorrow as well. It's been riding this wave of increased stock prices as well, so expecting some good results from Charles Schwab. The one that got hit recently, TD Bank, due to its TD Bank North money laundering scandal and the SEC's fines of $3 billion. So it's down, but I think it has the ability to come back and get into the mid-90s by the end of the year as well, especially as we get into the next earnings season, actually, which will be in January. So that's when we'll hear from TD Bank at that point, or into the 2025 year. So financials are where I would be focusing and am focusing my efforts these days, this week in particular, as opposed to these days, riding some of that push higher in the different stocks. But I'm also very focused in technology. So if we scroll up today instead of down, you can see that TSM had a great day Friday. It's up 50 cents pre-market. Adobe's up in the pre-market, was down Friday. Google had a good day Friday, but then it fell off at the end of the day. I'm loving Google under $65. I think you've got a lot of potential there. Nvidia looks like it could surpass its all-time high set back in June this week. You've got Alibaba, which had an okay week and then it pulled back last week, and then it's looking like it's starting down. I think if it dives down into the low 100s, it would be an interesting buy because China is talking about more stimulus. They just haven't come out and made a statement as to what amount and when. Meta, strong week last week and a strong start to the week this week at up $5 and change in the pre-market. Tesla, after the robo-taxi event, dropped fairly significantly down into the 210, 220 range. It's looking like it's making a small rebound today, but we'll have to wait and see on that. Not a lot of news coming out of Tesla this week that's expected anyway. And then continuing up, Lam Research, it's continuing to climb back. I do expect this will be $110, $120 stock by the end of this year or into early 2025. So I think that's a good bet. Really looking at the semiconductors here. So AMD had a great day Friday. It's up again today. You've got ARM. ARM had a good day Friday, up again today. Microsoft in the 410 to 20 range. It's in the middle of that range right now. Probably a pretty good bet, being that it's kind of been hovering around a glass ceiling of 430. And when earnings come out for Microsoft in only a couple of weeks, they're coming out at the end of the month, I think we'll see some positive earnings out of that company. The cybersecurity stocks have done extremely well last week and look like they're going to continue. Net, which is Cloudflare, Palo Alto, and CrowdStrike all had great weeks last week. And then Micron's making a comeback. Now, this was a stock that on its last earnings report in the last month was up at the 110 range and then dropped down into the low hundreds and even the high 90s. I think this is definitely a stock that's going to go into the 120, 130 range. So that's a nice 20, 30% gain there if you were to get in on that now and ride that up. Crude is getting pummeled today. So crude is down. It was down $1.70. Now it's down $1.62. So that's likely going to mean a red day on the screen for most of our oil refinery stocks, but these stocks start to report fairly shortly. So 10 days, we're going to hear from the likes of Valero. We've got Chevron coming out on November 1st. We've got Exxon reporting on the 1st of November as well. So all of those stocks in the next 20 days are going to have earnings coming out. And we should see some good results from those. I mean, they're not going to be where they were a couple of years ago when they were all-time highs, but I think they're going to be in pretty good shape and producing a fair bit of cash flow, which is a very positive thing. Get up into transports. Transports are making a comeback. I'm not that excited about transports, so I'm staying away from those, but they did have a great day Friday. Healthcare had a pretty positive day overall on Friday. Nike made some ground up on Friday, but not a ton. Home Depot was up slightly, but again, not a ton. And then Walmart up slightly, Dollar General up slightly. And again, today, it looks like it's up in the pre-market. Lulu had a good day, but it's still way, way down from its highs. So this isn't a sector that I would be doing much in. What I am keeping an eye on is Costco. Costco did dip down as predicted into the 880 range, the high 880s. I'm expecting it to come down into the lower 880s, and then I would buy some Costco. But that's not the first priority. Today, and this week, it's all about the financials and riding those stock increases and making small percentage gains, and then tech at the same time as the second area of focus. So good luck with your trades. We've got retail sales coming out later this week for September. That'll be a big number, but the rest is really all around earnings this week. Good luck with your trades, and if you're liking these videos, please subscribe to the channel and leave me a like and a comment.